Michael J. Fox has broken more bones than most people can name. He listed them once himself, one after another, in the plainest language he could find. Then came the surgery that could have taken his ability to walk, and the quiet fall at home that undid everything he'd just rebuilt. And somewhere in all of that, the man known for smiling through anything said something nobody expected to hear from him. He admitted he was finished pretending. Things aren't looking good for Michael J. Fox. But what he did after that moment is the part nobody saw coming. It began with a pinky finger in a hotel room in Florida and a bad hangover. In 1990, Fox was in Gainesville filming Doc Hollywood. He woke up feeling awful, lifted a hand to block the sunlight, and felt something brush against his cheek. For a second, he thought it was a moth. It was not. It was his own little finger moving by itself. Later, he described that moment in a way that stayed with people. The trembling, he said, felt like a message from the future. The diagnosis came in 1991, early onset Parkinson's disease. He was 29 years old. What makes that moment hit even harder is where he was in life. Fox was everywhere. He had finished 7 seasons of Family Ties and won 3 Emmys and a Golden Globe. He had starred in the Back to the Future trilogy. Before turning 30, he had built a film career most actors never reach. He had married his Family Ties co-star Tracy Pollan on July 16, 1988. Their first son, Sam, was born the next year. Michael Andrew Fox was born on June 9, 1961, in Alberta, Canada. His father served in the Canadian Armed Forces, and when he retired in 1971, the family settled in Burnaby, British Columbia. Fox joined the drama club in junior high. A teacher encouraged him to try out for a CBC series called Leo and Me. He got the part. At 17, he left school and moved to Los Angeles. Not long after, he landed Alex P. Keaton on Family Ties. Fox has always been clear about where his quick timing came from. He was a very small child, and that made him an easy target. He got chased. He got hit. So he learned to move fast. He learned to be funny. When the diagnosis came, his mind went straight to one thought. He was still in his 20s. How could he have a disease that felt like something meant for old age? What happened next still feels hard to believe. He told no one for 7 years. He kept acting. He made For Love or Money, The American President, and The Frighteners. Then, in 1996, he returned to television on ABC's Spin City. The role brought him another Emmy, 3 Golden Globes, and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. All of it happened while he was carrying a serious neurological disease in silence. A tremor was growing in his left hand, so he trained himself to stay in motion. He turned that movement into habit, then into performance. He also timed his pills carefully so he could look steady on camera. For 7 years, one of the most recognized actors in the world was running a private operation just to appear normal. By the 3rd season of Spin City, the strain had become too much. Reporters were getting closer. He wanted relief. So in 1998, he spoke publicly and the secret ended. Then his life changed in a way he did not expect. He went online without using his name and entered Parkinson's chat rooms. He asked strangers what they thought about this whole Michael J. Fox situation. Their response surprised him. They were happy. At first, that reaction felt almost offensive. Then he understood. These people were not happy because he was sick. They were relieved because someone visible had finally stepped into the open. What they saw in Fox was not tragedy alone. They saw a voice. Once he understood that, the whole thing took on a different meaning. He began to see it as a privilege. That shift changed public language around the disease. When Fox was diagnosed in 1991, Parkinson's carried silence and stigma. People kept it hidden. He knew that because he had done the same. Then, one of the most loved actors in America stood in front of the world and put his name beside it. Fox himself has said that this may be his real achievement. Bigger than the fame and bigger than the films. He helped turn a hidden condition into something people could talk about in the open. As the years passed, the physical cost kept growing. Parkinson's often takes balance first. Then balance leads to falls, and falls begin to change everything. In 2018, doctors found a tumor on his spine. It was benign and had no link to Parkinson's, but it could have left him paralyzed. He went through spinal surgery and then months of physical therapy. He had to learn to walk again. After he came home, he was alone in his kitchen when he tripped and broke his upper arm. What followed felt like one blow after another. A broken shoulder that had to be replaced, a broken elbow, a broken hand, a shattered face with damage to the cheek and the bone around the eye, a broken humerus, both shoulders coming out of place. Then an infection in his hand that nearly took the hand itself. He summed it up in the plainest possible way. It sucked. These days, he often has aides nearby in case he falls. He also uses a wheelchair often now, and that took time to accept. There is one part of this story that the polished version often leaves out. He broke emotionally after the spinal tumor, after learning to walk again, after the fall in the kitchen that snapped his arm. Fox hit a wall. The man people had come to see as a symbol of courage reached a point where he could not force optimism anymore. He said he was out of the lemonade business. That line matters because it tells the truth. He was not glowing with wisdom every day. He was tired. He was angry. He was in pain. What pulled him back was not some grand theory about hope. It was his family. At the center of that family is Tracy Pollan, still beside him after a marriage that has stretched across decades. Their children came one after another. First Sam, then twin daughters Aquina and Skylar in 1995, then Esme in 2001. That sense of love shaped the documentary Still, which premiered on Apple TV Plus on May 12, 2023. When filmmaker Davis Guggenheim spent a year following him, Fox gave only one instruction: no violins. He did not want pity dressing up the truth. In that film, he speaks one of the most memorable lines of his later life. Parkinson's, he says, did not just force him out of the house. It burned the house down. In April 2023, Fox sat down with Jane Pauley on CBS Sunday Morning and said something almost no public figure says so plainly. I'm not going to be 80. There was no performance in it. No softening. He explained it in direct terms. You do not die from Parkinson's. You die with Parkinson's. A fall, food going down the wrong way, pneumonia, the quiet chain of problems that can close in over time. When asked what the progression felt like, his answer was simple. It's getting harder. Every day it's tougher. Later, he said that one day he would run out of gas. He also said he was not afraid of it. So when people now push headlines that suggest things are suddenly looking bad for Michael J. Fox, it helps to remember one basic truth. He was the one who said all of this first. He said it publicly. He said it directly. Then he went back to work. In his 2020 book, No Time Like the Future, Fox said he was retiring from acting. Parkinson's had made it too hard to memorize lines. It sounded final. Then, in 2025, he came back. He joined Season 3 of Apple TV Plus's Shrinking for a 3-episode guest arc, playing a character living with Parkinson's. Harrison Ford was already on the show, also playing a character with Parkinson's. The series was run by Bill Lawrence, an old collaborator from Spin City. Fox's first line to Ford on screen carried the kind of sharp humor only he can deliver. He tells him they are on the same lousy train to the same lousy destination. What mattered even more was how he described the experience afterward. He said it was the first time he had ever been able to show up on set without worrying about whether he was too tired, whether he would cough, or whether something else would go wrong. He just showed up and did the work. This return resonates with broader conversations in 2025 and 2026 about accessibility in Hollywood, as productions increasingly accommodate actors with disabilities rather than asking them to mask their conditions. Fox even said he had never imagined Parkinson's would take as much from him as it has. At the same time, he said he also never imagined it would give him as much as it has. He made peace with something important long ago. He would only come back if the character could hold his symptoms instead of forcing him to hide them. He had done it before in Rescue Me, The Good Wife, The Good Fight, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Once Fox stopped hiding the disease on screen, his work became even more interesting because the truth of his body was part of the performance. Around the same period, Fox also voiced a role in Disney's Zootopia 2. Then Bill Lawrence said publicly that he hoped to bring him back for Season 4. Fox responded from the Paleyfest stage and said he was open to it. In November 2022, the Academy gave him the Jean Hers Holt Humanitarian Award at the Governor's Awards, an honorary Oscar presented by Woody Harrelson. By that point, he had already helped raise more than $1 billion for research. Then, on January 4, 2025, he stood at the White House and received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Joe Biden, the highest civilian honor in the United States. In 2024, Time named him one of the most influential people in health. Then, on June 26, 2026, Fox was promoted to Companion of the Order of Canada, the highest level of Canada's highest civilian honor. Within a year and a half, he received the top civilian honor in the United States and the top level of the highest civilian honor in Canada. That is not the profile of someone fading away. It is the profile of someone whose influence keeps widening. Then there is the thing Fox built, which may end up lasting even longer than his films. In 2000, he launched the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research with Deborah Brooks. The foundation became the largest nonprofit funder of Parkinson's research in the world, surpassing even the United States government. The foundation has funded more than $2.5 billion in research. In early 2026 alone, it awarded more than $95 million to projects involving treatment development, precision medicine, genetics, and disease biology. Brooks has said that when the foundation began, there was almost no pipeline of new drug targets. Today, there are more than 175 therapeutic interventions being tested in human beings. During that same push, researchers reached a breakthrough that allows the disease to be detected at the molecular level before symptoms even appear. The foundation's motto says everything. We're in business to go out of business. The actual state of Michael J. Fox in July 2026 is much richer than the darker narrative allows. He is 65 years old. He has lived with Parkinson's disease for 35 years, far longer than many people diagnosed at 29 were once told to expect. He is married to the woman he met when she played his girlfriend on a sitcom in the 1980s. He has 4 grown children. He has been sober for more than 30 years. He came out of a 5-year retirement to act opposite Harrison Ford. He holds the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He is now also a Companion of the Order of Canada. His foundation has sent $2.5 billion into research labs. And in April, when a television network accidentally aired a premature obituary treating his story as already finished, he responded with a joke about pouring hot water on his lap just to make sure he was still alive. Maybe the most honest thing he has ever said about his own life is the simple way he once described what he still wants. He wants to keep working. He wants to keep his partnerships. He wants to keep his friends. He wants to enjoy his family. And then he says the line that seems to hold everything together. It's so much better than it could be. Things have not looked easy for Michael J. Fox for a very long time. But across all the years that followed, he kept refusing the narrow version of the story that other people wanted to place on him. He once called Parkinson's the gift that keeps on taking. People keep hearing that line and assuming the rest must already be settled. But the closing paragraph has not been written yet.